Good morning, Miss Frances.
Good morning, Sherry.
We are here with Miss Frances Gilespe, and we wanted to talk to her for a while about her years at North Sumner. Now, how many years have you been at North Sumner now?
42.
42 years, and you have always taught kindergarten?
Every year.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think I've told you this before. In life, some of us have jobs and some of us have calling. And your calling, I do believe, was to be a kindergarten teacher.
I think so. I really like small children, and that's just where I've always wanted to stay. I never wanted to leave.
Yeah, and they always look up to you.
Literally.
No, you have taught many, many people in this community, and I was looking on Facebook, and there are so many kind words that people have given to you. And we wanted to take this opportunity to sit down and talk to you. So I know the story. It's like when I did Mr. Herndon, but not everybody knows the story. How in the world did you end up here at North Sumner Elementary 42 years ago?
Well, when I got out of college, I was working at Opryland, USA, and I got called for an interview, and the interview was up here on a Sunday afternoon with Mr. Marvin Rice.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget, he rode up on his motorcycle, and I was like, this is the principal? And so we went in the building, and we went down to the room and walked around, and he said, do you want the job? I said, yes, I'd love to have it. And they were looking for a kindergarten teacher at a special ed degree, and I did. So that was another little plus right there. And so that's how I got it.
That's how you got it.
And
So
I've stayed here every year.
Mr. Rice was your first principal.
First principal.
For the older generation, who were some of the teachers who were still here at that time?
Dawn Mays was still here. Miss Anderson, Scott Rippey was still here. Phyllis Holcomb, Margaret Cole. Lavelle Black was still here. Miss Braswell was still here for a while. Betty Greer. I could just go on. There's a bunch of us.
Yeah, a lot of them.
I was the baby. Not the baby anymore, but I was then.
Yes. Yeah. And back then, North Sumner was just a small little place.
Very small.
Let's see, it's still one grade per.
One grade per grade level. Yes.
Yeah. And our favorite function or favorite thing in the building, coal fire furnace.
Yes. You could come in the morning and the hall sometimes would be a little smoky from the furnace. You're right.
Yeah. So you started out, was your kindergarten class, were you in the portable? Did they have portables then?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
I was in the portable out back that they built. They built it on site. So it wasn't one that was moved in. So I was out there. And I loved being out there. And when Mr. Herndon came, he wanted everybody to move in the building. And I begged to stay on that portable. And he said no.
Yeah.
And he said in our little meeting yesterday, our little recognition, he said, the only time I think I ever made her mad was when I told her she had to come in. I said, well, I wasn't happy, but I did come in. And I'm glad now. I am glad I'm inside, but I liked it out there.
Yeah, I substituted for you out there quite a bit. And I remember back one year when we had a bunch of tornadoes.
Yes.
And I was substituting for you. And Miss Cole was still teaching kindergarten. And I was talking to her, and I said, and I just started substituting. And I said, there's a chance of tornadoes, and they were around here. And I said, I don't know if I can get all these kindergartens lined up and in the building. So she let me bring them in the building for the rest of the afternoon with her. So, because I was like going, Frances can do it, but I don't know if I can do it, So.
Because back then you had like 38, 39 kindergartners. It was a whole lot larger class.
Yeah, so she let me come in with her for the rest of the day, and
that was nice.
You always, like I said, some people have a calling, and kids just draw to you. They just seem to just love you, and I believe they would do absolutely anything you tell them to do. I mean, how do you keep such good control over kindergarten? Most people fear kindergartners.
They do. When you're absent, nobody wants to take your spot.
But how do you do it?
I don't know. I just truly love kindergartners. I just like working with them, and I like the way they learn and they get excited about things. And we start the beginning of the year talking about rules and how we got to learn to get along with each other and get to know each other, and we just kind of build from that throughout the year. Doesn't work with every child, but it works for most of them.
Yeah. Well, over the years, what are some things that stands out to you? Uh, Maybe changes in education. What are some things? I know you and I talked about some like kindergarten should just be get to yeah. But what are some of the changes that you like and you don't like?
Well, what I don't like is that I think we require a lot for kindergartners. I mean, they're basically learning to read, they're doing addition and subtraction, and all that's great. You know, I understand the world is different and people learn more. They're already coming in knowledgeable on technology and things like that. But one thing I really miss that we used to do that I thought was really great was just getting to know each other and those kind of activities where we just concentrated on fun things, reading stories, playing stations. We still do all that, but a lot of times it's tied into lessons and it's not as much free time and exploring time as it used to be. Make believe, those kind of things. I hate that they're not here as much as it was.
Yeah.
But it's coming around. You know, we try to incorporate it all together now and include it together if we can. But that's kind of
Yeah. Who are some people in the teaching profession that you feel like influenced you, maybe helped mentor you, or that you would look to and think, yeah?
Well, actually, my aunt and uncle were teachers at Gallatin High School, and I think she started at a young age, my young age, telling me that, you know, teaching's a great profession and all this kind of stuff. So I really started with that, just expecting that. And then when I went to high school, I had a great speech and drama teacher, Miss Juliet Doyle. She became Guthrie later. She really steered me too. I really enjoyed her, and she had a lot of good ideas. And then when I was fortunate enough to get hired here, I met my assistant, Miss Jo Rippey. And Jo taught me everything about kindergarten. I got the degree, but the everyday things is a little different than what you learn in college, you know. And when I walked in, she had already been in kindergarten like 8 or 9 years, and I basically said, Jo, you teach and I'll be your assistant for a little while. Do you show me the ropes? And so I really looked up to her. She made a big difference for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Miss Jo was an amazing
She was wonderful.
woman.
Loved her so much.
She just had a way about her. We are just going to take this off,
Yeah,
I think.
I think it would be a good idea. It just keeps crawling.
She was an amazing woman. And something that when I worked here that you and I talked about, of course there are things we have to deal with. And I remember that she told you one time, what did she tell you one time about a child with head lice?
Oh, she said, don't ever be afraid to hug a child. God will never let you catch anything like that. And you know what? She was right. I've hugged a lot of children.
Yeah. She was very, very, very special lady.
Very lovely. I just loved her to death. She was, God put her here for me. I would know that was the best place for me because I needed someone to mentor me, and she did it. She was wonderful.
Another special lady in your life was Lavelle Black. Yes,
Lavelle. I loved Lavelle. She worked in kindergarten for a while as our assistant besides just the title program. She was they came with so much wisdom already because they had been teaching long before I got here. And I just learned a lot about patience and understanding. And before I had children, you don't quite see them as the same as after you have children, you know, and they gave me more of those early instincts that I needed just to get started with. And then, of course, after I had children, I could see a difference in myself too. But she was wonderful as well. She was a good joy. I got one of her stories I tell you about Lavelle. We were out in the portable, and I don't remember what child it was, but they wrote their name on the bathroom door in crayon. And we asked him if he did it, and he said no. And Lavelle said, "You're the only one that can write your name." So she got something to make you to scrub it. And for the longest, if you go look at that old portable, there's a faded spot on the door where she took the varnish off.
That's a good one.
It was a lot of fun things.
Yeah, she just had a way to handle things.
She did.
Her and Miss Jo too. They just had a way, didn't they? Yeah.
They were sweet people.
So when you pulled up 42 years ago, what did you think of North Sumner? Did you think, oh my goodness, this is a little hick thing. Do I really want to be here, or did you think, oh wow, this is going to be great? Or what was your impressions?
Well, at the time, like I said, I was working at Opryland, and I honestly thought I was going to stay there as a full-time job. But when I got this interview and I came up here, I had no idea there was North Sumner. I had never heard of North Sumner. I had been in Nashville. I lived there. When I moved here, I only did Gallatin schools, so I really didn't know much about it. But I loved it from the start because it was small and it was out in the country. And that's what I like rather than the big city schools. And I liked the fact that everybody here seemed to know everybody, and it was just a good family feeling. And I was really tickled to get to come here. Mr. Rice asked me one time when he saw me later, and he said, "I always thought you'd leave." I said, "Why would I leave here? It's the perfect place. There's nowhere better." So,
yeah. Yeah, well, sometimes the people below the ridge don't understand why we love, yeah.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
They're missing out on a lot.
So, what are some children that you have that really touched you, that you can really think about and go, that are grown now? Yeah, that are adults. Yeah, that you can think back and they just really left an impression.
Well, there's one particular one, and she's not actually grown, but she doesn't live here anymore. But she was a child that came in from another country, and we all fell in love with her. She had to learn the language, she had to learn everything about what we were doing, and it was a challenge to get everything across, but she touched all our hearts, and it just stuck with me ever since. And in fact, we keep in contact with her every year.
Wow,
we try to keep up with her.
That's really neat.
But that was one child that really made a difference. And there's been so many through the years. I've learned a lot from a lot of different kids. I can't really pinpoint any one person besides her, but they've all been great. Even your daughter. I learned a lot from her too.
Yeah. Casey doesn't want me to tell some of the stories, so I won't. Yeah. So what made you decide to retire?
Well, I'm past retirement age for one thing.
That's right, you're older than me, aren't you?
Barely, but I'm afraid I am. Well, and it's so funny because everybody I went to college with, everybody is retired. They're going, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Well, I still love it, and what am I going to do? I need it. I like to do it." But I told my children, if I ever got a grandchild, I would quit school and take care of the baby. And my middle son and his wife had been married 5 years. I'd about given up, and they had a little baby boy. So I'm staying home and start to teach him, work with him. And she's a teacher too, so she's going back to work, and I'm going to stay home with him. So that's what made me retire. Otherwise, I'd probably still be here.
Still be here, yeah. And how old is he now?
He'll be 10. He's 10 months this
10 months. 10 months. Oh my goodness!
So it'll be about a year.
All the neat stuff coming up. Yeah,
I'm excited about it.
That is great. That's great. You have 3 children.
3 children.
And one of them actually went to North Sumner. Didn't Kristen?
2 of them did.
2 of them. Okay.
Lucas was here for 1 year. Kristen was here for 3 years. I believe it was. Yes.
Yeah, I knew Kristen. I didn't remember Lucas. Yeah.
It was just a 1 year thing.
Mm-hmm.
He came in 5th grade, so he didn't get to stay very long.
Yeah. Well, 42 years is a long time to be driving up the ridge. I know you and a very special lady rode together for many years, Miss Judy Anderson.
Yes.
Yes.
Judy was a treat, I tell you. Judy was not a morning person. I am a morning person. Judy was an afternoon person, and I was winding down. So in the mornings, we'd be coming to school, and I'd just be rattling away. And Judy would go, "Okay, wait a minute. This ear is dead." And she would do this. And I'd say, "Okay, Judy," and I'd just pick right on up and keep going. But yes, many wonderful years with her. And I carpooled with lots of people. Miss Creasy carpooled with us when Donna McFarland was here. We did. There was a teacher, Vicki Hank. I mean, we carpooled for years. And then as my kids came along, we all kind of started driving ourselves now. Yeah. So, and of course, Judy retired. She was my last one. So.
Yeah. So you're going to retire. You're going to keep your grandson. you're still going to stay in contact with North Sumner? We
Oh,
can certainly count on you to come back and help with
Fall Festival.
With Fall Festival.
Yes, I told him. I said, now I'll come back, but I want to do auction. I like the auction, and they said that'll be fine, just whatever it is. But yes, I definitely will not just disappear. I was telling them the other day, you probably see me at Christmas. I want to come to the Christmas program and see the little ones that I had, and I want to come for the Thanksgiving lunch and, things like that. Yes, I won't walk away and leave it. It's been too big part of my life. In fact, I get kind of sad when I'm here that it's changing, that I'm losing that part, but then I'm going to gain something good too. So I'll be great when I get my little baby home.
Yeah, so that's neat. That's really neat. Well, like I said, 42 years is an awful long time to be doing one job. Nowadays, that's almost unheard of.
I know, it is.
But I definitely do think that this was definitely a calling and that God worked it out for you to be here.
I think so too. I couldn't have had a happier place.
We've had a lot of fun at North Summer.
Yes, we have.
We have done a lot of cookie and fun things.
Yes, we have.
Yeah. Tell me, when you retire and you keep your grandson, do you think there's going to come a time when you're going to go, I miss it? Do you think you're going to have some retirement regrets somewhere in there?
I think there'll be days that I'll miss it. Yeah, I do. I really think it will. Because I go home now and I think, well, this time next week, I'll be out of school and I want to go back to school. And my daughter will say, but when all those school supplies hits the shelf in August and July, you can say, I don't have to go buy any. But, yeah, I think I will miss it a lot, but I'll get over it with him because when I get with him, I can't think about anything else but him, so it'll be all right.
Well, what is the thing that you're going to miss the least, do you think? I know Mr. Herndon said he was looking forward to some things, the paperwork and some of the changing things that he just doesn't want to do. That's what he's going to be glad to not be doing. What about you?
I could say a lot of it's the same thing. We have such a heavy load of curriculum for kindergarten. I won't miss that. I won't miss that at all. But it covers what we need to cover, but I just feel like it's so many things to do. And I feel like a lot of times it takes the fun away. And that part I won't miss. But I will miss all the people and the families and the kids and that kind of stuff, all the different activities we do.
Well, you've certainly been an important part of North Sumner. And like I said on Facebook, I saw so many comments. You know, in this community, there are so many grown people that have had you in kindergarten.
I know.
And how does that make you feel when you see them out and they put up such good memories of you on Facebook?
Well, I always said if I got grandchildren of kids I used to have, I would be worried. But I've had a lot of, and parents, the last few years I've had a lot of parents that I've had as little ones. And we did recognition yesterday. I almost said, how many of you out there did I have in kindergarten? Because I was afraid there'd be a lot of hands because there were several there. But I think it's just I really like it that I did have them because I think it makes me really feel good when they say, I want you to have my child because you had me. And I think, well, I did a good job with that person. They really want me to have them, and that makes me happy to see that.
So you're on your second generation or third generation?
Second.
Wait a minute, you're on your...
I'm on my third generation.
I think you're on your third because you had Casey, and you had Dylan. So
yes.
Realistically, that's only
two. Second. That's only two. Okay, Mr. Herndon and Miss Ann are on their third generation.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm a third generation for both of them.
Oh,
so,
are you?
Yeah.
That's great.
So, but well, what would you like to? Well, without tearing up and getting too far, because I know you didn't want me to keep this very long. You wanted me to keep this upbeat and everything. But if there was something that you could say to the community of North Sumner that you would like to leave with them, what would it be? Look at the camera.
Look at the camera.
Look at the camera.
What I would say to North Sumner is just don't change. Stay the community you are. Stay the people you are. It is the most loving, caring place that I've ever been to. Everybody works together. They're good, family-oriented. And I would just hold on to those values and stay just exactly like you are and make a difference here in the world. That's what I would do. It's pretty perfect.
Yeah, pretty perfect, isn't it?
is.
Mm-hmm. Is there any other memories? Any other one favorite memory of something that you would like to leave with? Something goofy you and Tammy did or something?
Oh my goodness, there's been a
There's
lot.
too many of
There's,
those.
oh my gosh, I don't know. I can't think of anything right offhand. Lots of field trips and us playing with the boys and girls. I think there's a picture in the yearbook of us going down some big slide together.
Mm-hmm.
It's just funny. It's just, I don't know. It's just lots of comedy a lot of days. I can't. Can you think of one? I did.
Oh my God, I've got too many, but you told me I couldn't tell them.
Well, God's got too much. I can't think of anything right offhand.
Yeah.
It was just extreme.
But I didn't want to get into too much because I know it can get emotional, and I just wanted to talk to you for a few minutes and let everybody who loves you so very much see you on video and talk about some of your memories. And I will say personally that the time my children have been here and the time that I worked here, I can testify that Miss Frances is an extraordinary individual and a loving individual and an amazing woman. And North Sumner is definitely going to miss you.
I did get one memory.
What's
it
that?
concerns you.
Oh my goodness, now what?
Christmas stockings.
Oh,
We would sew stockings at Christmas, and I said, Sherry, we need you to have sew stockings. And she was like, I don't sew.
yeah.
I never forget that. Your look on your face, and I said, sew stockings.
Yeah, and these kids took them home probably, and they were falling apart, and they're going, but the ladies sewed them for
I
me,
know.
Mama. Yeah.
They sewed them, and I'd say, fill in the holes, Sherry.
My friends know I can't sew,
But
and I tried to convince you of that, but you wouldn't listen, so.
That is a funny memory. I laugh about that every year when I pull out
When
stockings.
you pull out the
I
stockings,
think
yeah.
of you with stockings.
So, well, Miss Frances, we love you.
Thank you.
North Sumner loves you, and the Oak Grove community loves you, and you have been a very, very important part of that.
Thank you so much.
And we
I
hope
think I've been the lucky one.
that you definitely enjoy your retirement.
Thank
So,
you.
thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.